The secret to mastering AI-written thought leadership lies in a box of brownie mix. There are two ways, as you probably know, to prepare boxed brownie mix like this. First, you can follow the instructions on the box. Add an egg, a quarter cup of water, and a third cup of vegetable oil. Or you take some initiative and you spice things up. Maybe you swap water for coffee or milk to add some more chocolatey taste. Maybe you use butter instead of oil. Maybe you add extra yolk to give it some more density and more flavor. Or maybe you mix in some chocolate chips, nuts, peanut butter, or Nutella to give it some really interesting flair. Depending on which path you take, you're going to get two very different products. If you only follow the directions on this box, you're going to get a bland brownie. Yes, people will eat it. Yes, it's perfectly fine and perfectly edible, but there's nothing remarkable about the brownies in this box. It's the same thing anyone could produce using this same box and using the same water, egg, and oil. You're not going to really impress anybody because they're going to tell pretty quickly that the brownies you made are plain and boring, and likely they came from a box. But if you took the initiative to spice things up by swapping water for coffee or milk, adding an extra yolk, adding some chocolate chips or nuts or Nutella, you suddenly have something much more interesting than a plain old brownie. You've got something a bit unique. And even if you used this boxed brownie mix, you've added your ideas, you've added your fun tweaks, and you've created something that is more likely to impress people and unlikely to make them think that you used a boxed brownie mix. That, my friend, is a perfect analogy for how to use AI to write thought leadership. If you prompt AI using really broad prompts, you don't give much context to AI in terms of what you're trying to convey, you don't provide your perspective on the topic, and you don't spend a fair amount of time editing whatever AI puts out, your final product will be the equivalent of plain brownies that came from a box. Now, not everyone will know that you used AI, but many people will suspect it, including likely the people that you're trying to impress, which includes your current, past, and prospective clients and referral sources. But if, on the other hand, you took time to come up with more narrow prompts, you explain to the AI what you're trying to convey, you provide examples of your thinking, you work with the AI to refine your prompts to get an output that's closer to what you're looking for, then you spend a fair bit of time editing the output to get it closer to something that you would say, well, you're getting to a final product that's a bit closer to real writing that came from you and doesn't read like it was produced by AI, even if AI played a key role in producing. There's nothing wrong with using AI to create thought leadership, just like there's nothing wrong with using a boxed brownie mix to make brownies. The issue becomes what you want your thought leadership or your brownies to convey. If you just want your thought leadership to be content that has your name on it, that conveys some decent thoughts about a topic of relevance to you and your target audience, then great. You can use AI with minimal tinkering. But that's just like if you wanted to show up to some party with a dessert. You can make a boxed brownie mix without doing anything but following the directions. But if you want your thought leadership to be impactful and resonate with your target audiences, you can't rely on AI by itself. You'll need to invest time and your creativity to take what the AI gives you and mold it into something that reflects on you positively. Just like if you wanted to show up to a party with a dessert that impresses people, you'll need to take time to tinker with your boxed brownie mix and make your dessert stand out from the norm. If you want to rely on AI for your thought leadership, that's your prerogative. But understand that if you don't spend a fair bit of time tinkering and improving on what the AI gives you in terms of its draft outputs, your thought leadership will be the equivalent in a robust, competitive market full of smart people producing high-quality thought leadership of bringing brownies made from a box to a potluck party run by and attended by culinary arts students. If you'd like to learn more about best practices for producing thought leadership with or without AI, check out lawfirmeditorialservice.com. We have more than 450 videos, blog posts, and podcast episodes that can help you do just that.